Welcome back, y'all. We are about to talk about the pros and cons of living on Lake Lanier. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that bell so that you're notified every time we put up a new video. So let's just dig right in. Let's talk about Lake Lanier as a whole. Lake Lanier is a very big lake and it actually spans over multiple counties. So it spans over Hall County, Forsyth County, Gwinnett County, and Dawson County. It is one of the most tourist areas of Georgia. As a matter of fact, we have over 1 million visitors to Lake Lanier on an annual basis. That lake is managed by the U.S. Corps of Engineers, and they are sticklers about what you can and cannot do to your properties on Lake Lanier. As a matter of fact, they're the ones that tell us if we can put a dock or not. They are the ones that tell you what you can do as far as cutting down trees, how you need to keep your property groomed. Their main priority is making sure that the integrity of the lake stays, because it is a big source for water supply from Georgia all the way down to Florida. We have multiple parks around Lake Lanier in all the different counties, and obviously that can change the number of parks based off the development that's going on. But as of right now, I want to talk about a few of the larger parks that you can experience here on Lake Lanier. So Don Carter Park, Boulding Mill Park, Buford Dam Park, Mary Alice Park, Gainesville Marina is the last one. So Mary Alice and Buford Dam Park are both located in Forsyth County and Cumming. Those are both phenomenal parks. If you want to walk the trails of Lake Lanier, you can do that at the Buford Dam Park. If you want to camp, you can do that too. Mary Alice has a phenomenal beach area. So let's say it's a beautiful day in Cumming and you want to be outside, you don't have a boat, but you want to be on the lake, you can just go right over to Mary Alice Park, bring your picnic basket and your blankets, a couple chairs, and you can have a great day out there along the water side of Lake Lanier. And then of course, if you have a boat, you can also put your boat in the water there at that park as well. There is a ramp actually at both of those parks. There's just some great parks around the entire Lake Lanier. And of course, remember guys, it spans from 4 different counties. So it is a very large lake. All right, so let's just go over a couple of the pros of living on Lake Lanier. My gosh, if you're an outdoor enthusiast and you love the lake and the water, then you want to be on Lake Lanier, especially if you're a boater. The lake that we have here is a phenomenal place to boat. Now we have multiple lakes across Metro Atlanta and across Georgia, but really there's not anything like Lake Lanier. Again, it is a very big lake. It is a very tourist attraction. Again, we see over 1 million people come and visit Lake Lanier every single year. So there's always something going on the lake. And on the holidays and the weekends, it is very, very busy. One of the cons to that though, too, is it can be very dangerous. As a matter of fact, some people say that Lake Lanier is haunted, and we've got some theories on that. I'm not going to get into those theories though at this video, but again, it's a very tourist lake and there are a lot of people that come there. And so of course, when you have a lot of people out boating and drinking and having a great time, you are going to have accidents. And so that tends to be one of the cons on Lake Lanier. So if you are living on Lake Lanier, then you want to make sure that you have access to that lake. And you can have access to that lake by a dock. Dock permits are allowed on Lake Lanier. Now, a con to that though is all of those permits have been taken. So if you're purchasing a home and it does not have a dock, it is really important that you ask the questions, is there a dock permit in place and can I put a dock? If the answer is no, that there is no current permit, then the odds of you actually ever getting a dock on your lot is going to be slim to none. Because Lake Lanier is such a large lake, it's over 38,000 acres. And again, guys, it spans over 4 counties. There's some areas of the lake that are deeper than others, and there's some areas that are much more shallow. A pro to living on Lake Lanier is making sure that you have a deep water access. Now, deep water access does cost more money than a shallow area. And so if you're more south of the lake, you are going to have some shallow areas. As a matter of fact, we have some areas where we have tiny fingers. And when that drought happens, your dock a lot of times are no longer in the water. And so that actually decreases your value of your home. So if you're looking at living on Lake Lanier, find that deep water access. That is going to be the best thing that you can do, and find a house that has a dock on it. Again, guys, if you're buying that though, you're going to be paying a high premium for that dock and high premium for that deep water access. All right, another pro, this is one of my favorite ones because I love doing this, is there are restaurants on the lake. Now, there's not that many. We have about 4 to 6 different restaurants, depending on what county you're located in, that are located on the lake. That means you can jump right into your boat, go out for a tool, pull up to one of those restaurants, hop off and have a good bite, and then bring yourself back with a great sunset cruise. It doesn't get any better than that, especially on a spring and a summer night here in Georgia. All right, let's talk about another pro. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite, is those sunset views. Now, I just talked about getting on your boat and going around and having a tool around the lake as soon as you get done with your dinner. But the best thing that you can do is just hang out at sunset and watch that view. It is absolutely gorgeous. And as a matter of fact, it just decompresses you from a really busy day. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I am living on Lake Lanier and there is nothing like it. All right, so let's just talk about a few of the cons on living on Lake Lanier. Now, on this lake, the water levels do fluctuate. And you'll have years where you have a really high water table, and you're gonna have years where you're down 5, 6, 7, 8 feet. And at times when that happens, there is a really big possibility that your dock is no longer in the water. Earlier in this video, we talked about deep water versus shallow water, and depending on where you are in the lake. And so that is going to be one of the cons that you have to deal with, is are on those years where the water table is lower, depending on where your dock is located, it may or may not still be in the water. All right, so let's talk about the tourist season crowds. Oh my goodness. Remember when I said that Lake Lanier is a tourist attraction? We get over 1 million visitors a year, and depending on the week, it can be busier than others. So when you have people that are coming to the lake, maybe some of them are familiar with driving boats, many of them are not. And actually some of our marinas actually do boat rental. And so when you get that many people on the lake, you're going to have extra crowds. Those marinas are going to be busier. Those boat ramps are going to be busier. And just that influx of people that are not familiar with lake life, they're not familiar with the guidelines of driving a boat, it can get pretty challenging. And so living on Lake Lanier, you have to understand that you have to deal with that during those seasons. That might be a time where you decide, hey, we're going to go ahead and leave and go to another area, especially July 4th weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend. Those big weekends tend to stay really busy on our lake. I hope you guys enjoyed this. These are my top reasons, pros and cons of living on Lake Lanier. Again, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell so that you can get the most recent videos. And then of course, always shoot us a DM if you have questions.